Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. They're saying that the BWA, the Barbados Water Authority, they are owed about 100 million, but only about 40 million can be collected. Let me ask a question though. Is it true that many of the West Coast hotels don't pay water bills? Is it true? This is only a question. Is it true that Sandy Lane Hotel has a huge water bill, but the water cannot be disconnected at Sandy Lane because it is a big pull in terms of tourism, the name and the area. So if there are any outstanding water bills due from Sandy Lane, they will never be paid. So the 60 million that is not going to be collected, cannot be collected, they call it water down the drain. Is that water down the drain Sandy Lane's portion of what is owed? Just asking a question. Just a question. And what other agencies and hotels in Barbados that are deemed so important by the tourism industry that are not paying water? Using that water, plenty of water, but there's no tag, there's no payment. When the cruise ships come in, just asking now. When those cruise ships come in and you hear that they demand a whole lot of water, they have to fill up what they have to wash down or whatever. When those ships come in, are they paying the water bill for all the water that is provided to them? So this 40 million that they're saying is collectible, are you to assume it's the poor people that will pay that? That they're going to tax something onto your bill, like a levy, a little tax here, a little additional thing here, however they do it. Are you to assume that the $40 million that can be collected will be coming from the African demographic there in Barbados, the poor, the underrepresented? Because if 60 million is not collectible, you cannot assume that the non-collectible amount that particular hotel is no longer doing business. You cannot assume that. You cannot assume that the reason that they cannot collect the 60 million is because the entity is no longer doing business, is out of business, is gone, but shut down. You cannot assume that. You cannot assume that. Okay? So if now in 2025, they're going to have to swallow $60 million worth of water bill that did not get collected. In the future, they're going to have to swallow more water bills that will never be collected, because when you show someone that you're going to let them slide, you're letting them slide because of their name and where they're situated, they're never going to pay. They're never going to pay. So this question remains. Those big entities in Barbados that have been rumored to not pay water, they have huge water bills, but they do not pay for water. Are they grandfathered in a way, grandfathered in that they can use as much water as they want, do whatever they want with your water? It goes through drains and you have to fix them every now and again. They get corroded. So you are paying, I'm just saying, are Black poor Barbadians paying to keep big facilities like Sandy Lane, for example, in business, when an entity like Sandy Lane should be able to pay their water bills. They should be. There should be. So when I talk about slavery and you don't like it, it only shows. I'm kind of making my point here and there. I don't know if you are getting it, but I'm trying to make a point here and there. But you're being used. You are being used. And the way you are being used is reflective of slavery. You're accustomed to it. You're sitting comfortably in it. When you get that levy, when you get that additional amount added on, tacked on to your water bill, or maybe it'll get tacked on to your land taxes, wherever it gets tacked onto, you're not going to know it's for the water. You're not going to know it's for this or it's for that. All you know is you're paying high taxes and places that are run by the elite, the white elite in Barbados, are not bothered. They're using up resources and they're not bothered because of who they are, because where they're located, and because of that image of, we need them for the tourism part of what we provide here in Barbados. Sandy Lane, you cannot not have Sandy Lane, so it's the image thing. So is that what's happening? Just a question. That 60 million that they're saying is just water down the drain. Who's 60 million? You see, they talk about the 60 million that is going down the drain and the $100 million owed. But I'm going to admit, I didn't read every line of this particular article, but did they tell you who owed the most of the money? Because they know who owes the most, the lion's share of this debt. They know. So did they tell you? Will they tell you? If you ask nicely, like, could you please? If you ask nicely, would they tell you? And when you do get that levy on your water bill or whatever bill you get from the government, are they going to tell you that you're supporting a white establishment in Barbados that refuses to pay for water? This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.